"The Ferrari's yours if you can fix it, but we both know you can't." Jonathan Sterling's voice cuts through Prestige Motors like a blade. His $350,000 Ferrari sits broken, hood up in surrender. 50 VIP clients watch as the CEO confronts Darius Mitchell, the only black man in the room. "Look at this," Sterling laughs, pointing at Darius's cleaning supplies. "You think a spray bottle qualifies you for Italian engineering?" He turns to his audience. Darius says nothing. His hands remain steady on his cloth, dark eyes calm despite the public humiliation. Sterling steps closer, his voice dripping with contempt. "What's the matter? Finally realizing you're out of your league?" He smirks at his wealthy audience. "I mean, there's a reason some people clean toilets and others run companies. Natural order, you know?" The crowd gasps. But Sterling's racist confidence remains absolute. What he doesn't know is that Darius Mitchell possesses a gift that will shatter every assumption and destroy an empire built on prejudice. This isn't Jonathan Sterling's first display of racism at Prestige Motors. For 6 months, he systematically humiliated Darius Mitchell in front of clients, turning cruelty into entertainment for Beverly Hills elite. The pattern is always the same. When important buyers visit, Sterling makes Darius re-clean cars that are already spotless. "Standards matter here," he announces loudly, ensuring everyone hears his theatrical concern. "Some people need extra supervision to meet our clientele's expectations." The humiliation rituals have escalated over time. Sterling forces Darius to enter through the service entrance while white contractors waltz through the front door. "Different roles, different entrances," he explains to confused clients with mock reasonableness. Keeps our operations organized and professional. During important presentations, Sterling requires Darius to wear a name tag reading "Darius Detailing," while mechanics get no labels. "Helps clients know who to talk to about what," Sterling says with a practiced smile. "Wouldn't want any confusion about expertise levels." 2 months ago, Sterling made Darius crawl under a Bentley to check for imaginary oil leaks while wealthy clients watched. "Gotta be thorough," he explained as Darius emerged with dirt on his uniform. "Some folks are naturally better at getting their hands dirty." The worst incident happened during last month's Lamborghini Huracan unveiling. When Darius correctly pronounced the car's name during routine cleaning, Sterling publicly corrected him with an exaggerated Italian accent that made clients cringe. "It's not Hurricane, boy," Sterling declared, his voice carrying across the showroom. "This is precision Italian engineering worth $300,000. Try to show some respect for what you're touching." The crowd shifted uncomfortably, but Sterling fed off their discomfort like fuel. Power, for him, comes from public displays of dominance, and Darius, quiet and dignified in his work clothes, makes the perfect target. Last week, Sterling forced Darius to polish the same Mercedes 3 times during a client presentation. "See that? That's attention to detail," he told his audience. "Some people understand their role. Others think they're entitled to more than they've earned." But Sterling's Ferrari 488 GTB has become his personal nightmare. For 3 weeks, this $350,000 machine has been stalling without explanation. The car runs perfectly for days, purring like a contented cat, then suddenly dies at red lights during acceleration in parking lots. No pattern anyone can identify, no warning, just humiliating, expensive failure. The first mechanic was Ferrari's certified technician, flown in from Los Angeles with full diagnostic equipment. Giuseppe Martinelli had 20 years of factory training, 2 days of testing, computer scans, electrical system analysis. "Definitely the ECU," he declared confidently. "I see this problem many times." $2,200 later, after replacing the engine control unit, the car still stalled. "Must be a wiring harness issue," he muttered, collecting his fee and disappearing back to Los Angeles with his reputation intact. The second attempt involved Beverly Hills' most prestigious independent exotic car specialist. Marco Rossini had 30 years of Italian car experience and a client list that read like Forbes magazine. "Fuel injection problems," he announced after 1 day of analysis. "These modern systems, they are very sensitive. $1,800 for new injectors, fuel pumps, and complete system cleaning." The Ferrari purred for exactly 2 days before stalling again during Sterling's test drive with a potential buyer. "Very strange," Rossini admitted, genuinely baffled. "All my diagnostics say it should work perfectly." Sterling's desperation grew with each failure. His confidence in his own automotive expertise crumbled as expensive specialists proved useless. The third mechanic came recommended by a racing team that maintained million-dollar track cars for professional drivers. Timing chain stretch, the expert diagnosed confidently after listening to the engine for 10 minutes. These Ferrari engines are very sensitive to timing variations. I fix this problem all the time. $1,500 for timing chain tensioners, guides, and precision adjustment. The car ran beautifully for 4 days, then stalled 3 times in one afternoon during back-to-back client appointments. I've never seen anything like this, the racing mechanic confessed, his confidence shattered. The timing is perfect now. This should not be happening. Computer diagnostics became Sterling's fourth desperate attempt. He hired a diagnostic specialist with the latest Ferrari-specific equipment worth more than most people's annual salaries. The technician arrived with a van full of computers, oscilloscopes, and Italian proprietary testing systems. 12 hours of testing. Every sensor analyzed. Every system is monitored under various conditions. All readings normal, the technician reported, genuinely puzzled. According to every diagnostic parameter, this car should run flawlessly. The computer systems show no errors, no anomalies, no irregularities. $1,200 for sophisticated testing that revealed absolutely nothing useful. The fifth mechanic was Beverly Hills' most expensive import specialist, a man who serviced cars for Hollywood celebrities and Silicon Valley billionaires. His shop looked like a high-tech laboratory. He spent 3 days replacing sensors, updating software, recalibrating engine management systems, and testing every component individually. $1,300 for parts and labor that accomplished nothing. "I'm sorry, Mr. Sterling," he finally admitted, his professional pride wounded. "This problem is beyond my expertise. I've exhausted every diagnostic protocol." $8,000 in failed repairs, Sterling's reputation as a car expert crumbling with each stall, clients questioning his knowledge, major collectors whispering about his incompetence behind his back, his credibility bleeding out like expensive engine oil onto pristine showroom floors. Victoria Carter, a collector worth $200 million, has been watching Sterling's Ferrari fiasco with growing concern. She owns 15 exotic vehicles and spends over $1 million annually on automotive services. She's considering a $3 million order for 3 rare Lamborghinis through Prestige Motors, but mechanical competence matters when you're investing serious money. If Sterling can't maintain his own vehicle, how can he service her collection? "Jonathan," she mentioned carefully during their private meeting last week, "I'm becoming concerned about your technical capabilities. This Ferrari situation is quite troubling for someone in your position." Her words hit like a sledgehammer to Sterling's ego. Victoria Carter's endorsement could make or break luxury dealerships throughout Southern California. Her collection included 12 Ferraris, 8 Lamborghinis, 5 McLarens, and 3 Bugattis. Her annual service contracts alone generated more revenue than most dealerships' total sales. Losing her business would devastate Prestige Motors financially and destroy Sterling's standing in the luxury automotive community. Today's VIP showcase was supposed to restore Sterling's image and secure Victoria's massive order. 50 of Beverly Hills' wealthiest car enthusiasts gathered to see exclusive vehicles and discuss million-dollar purchases. The monthly Collectors Circle event where Sterling typically shines, demonstrating his supposed expertise to impress millionaires who hang on his every automotive pronouncement. But when the Ferrari stalled twice during the opening presentation, once while idling during his speech, once during a simple acceleration demonstration for the crowd, Sterling's desperation transformed into pure rage. The sound of 50 phones capturing his humiliation filled the marble showroom. The crowd watched his composure crack in real time. "This is absolutely embarrassing," someone whispered loudly enough for others to hear. "Maybe we should look elsewhere for our automotive needs," another client murmured to his wife, their voices carrying across the silent showroom. "I've never seen anything like this at a professional dealership," a third voice added. Several couples moved toward the exit, their interest evaporating with Sterling's credibility. The very people he needed to impress were witnessing his complete professional collapse, and they were documenting it for social media. What Sterling doesn't know is that Darius has been quietly documenting every luxury vehicle's behavior patterns for 5 years. His cleaning supplies hide professional diagnostic tools he bought with his own money: an infrared thermometer, a digital stethoscope, acoustic analysis equipment, vibration sensors that most mechanics have never seen. Tools that cost him 3 months of salary but represent his true passion. His work tablet contains detailed behavioral notes about every car that enters the dealership, temperature variations throughout different operating cycles, sound anomalies during various engine loads, performance irregularities correlated with environmental conditions. A comprehensive database of mechanical patterns that certified experts miss because they rely on computers instead of careful observation and genuine mechanical intuition. The Ferrari stalling isn't random. Darius identified the pattern 3 weeks ago. Specific engine temperature thresholds combined with particular RPM ranges create a harmonic resonance that triggers component failure in a small aluminum bracket near the intake manifold. He knows exactly what's broken and precisely how to fix it. He submitted a detailed report explaining the root cause and repair procedure, complete with thermal analysis data and acoustic frequency measurements. The document sits unread in Sterling's email inbox, automatically filtered to spam because it came from the detail guy trying to play mechanic. Sterling's dismissal isn't just arrogance, it's systematic blindness reinforced by racial prejudice. In his world, knowledge comes with expensive credentials. Expertise requires prestigious degrees, and competence has a specific color. The idea that a black man in work clothes could solve problems that stump certified Ferrari technicians doesn't compute Sterling's racist worldview. Now, surrounded by his wealthy audience and facing complete professional humiliation, Sterling has made his Ferrari the prize in a game he's certain he'll win. Because assumptions feel like facts when you've never been challenged, and privilege feels like proof when you've never been tested. The crowd's discomfort feeds his ego. Darius's silence looks like submission. Sterling mistakes dignity for defeat, composure for incompetence. "Tell you what," he announces, his voice carrying across the marble showroom with renewed confidence born from desperation. "I'll make this really interesting for everyone here today." His eyes glitter with malicious pleasure as he prepares to deliver what he thinks will be the killing blow. The trap is set. The audience watches. And Darius Mitchell stands at the center of it all, holding cleaning supplies that mask the mind of a mechanical genius about to change everything. Darius Mitchell grew up in Oakland, raised by his grandmother Rosa after his parents died in a car accident when he was 12. The crash happened on a rainy Tuesday evening. Brake failure on their 1998 Honda Civic sent them into oncoming traffic on Highway 880. Rosa worked 2 jobs to keep them afloat. Days cleaning office buildings in downtown Oakland, scrubbing toilets and emptying trash cans for minimum wage. Nights as a hospital janitor, mopping floors while doctors and nurses saved lives around her invisible presence. "Baby," she told Darius during those hard years, "the machine will tell you what's wrong if you know how to listen. Don't let fancy equipment make you deaf to what your senses can teach you. The truth is always there. You just have to be still enough to hear it." Darius discovered his gift at 14 when Rosa's 1995 Honda Civic started making that noise, a subtle whirring that appeared during acceleration and disappeared at idle. 3 mechanics told her it needed a $1,200 transmission rebuild they couldn't afford. "Grandma Rosa, we don't have that kind of money," Darius said, watching her count crumpled bills on their kitchen table. "I know, baby. Guess we walk everywhere now." But Darius couldn't accept that. For 2 weeks after school, he lay under that Honda in their apartment complex parking lot, listening. Not to what the mechanic said should be wrong, but to what the car itself was telling him. The sound wasn't transmission failure. It was a loose heat shield vibrating against the exhaust manifold, creating harmonic resonance that mimicked transmission problems. $20 part, 30 minutes of work. "How did you know that?" Rosa asked, amazed as the Honda purred quietly for the first time in months. "It told me," Darius said simply. "I just listened." That moment changed everything. Rosa's Honda became Darius's classroom. Every weekend he studied its systems, learning to read the language machine speak through sound, vibration, temperature, and smell. When neighbors heard about the kid who fixed Rosa's car, they brought their problems to him. Mrs. Garcia's minivan with mysterious electrical issues, Mr. Johnson's pickup truck that stalled in cold weather, the apartment complex manager's BMW that made grinding noises nobody could identify. Darius solved them all, not with expensive diagnostic equipment, but with patient observation and intuitive understanding. "Machines don't lie," Rosa reminded him as his reputation grew. "People make assumptions. Computers make calculations. But machines tell the truth about their condition if you know their language." Using community college auto programs and online engineering courses, Darius taught himself advanced diagnostics. He could hear problems in engines that computerized systems missed. Subtle timing variations, irregular combustion patterns, microscopic mechanical wear that created unique acoustic signatures. His notebooks are filled with observations about how healthy engines should sound, feel, and respond. Temperature ranges for optimal performance, vibration patterns that indicated specific component wear, the relationship between exhaust smell and fuel mixture ratios. By 18, Darius had developed diagnostic abilities that bordered on the supernatural. He could identify engine problems by listening to idle patterns, feeling exhaust heat distribution with his hand, observing oil viscosity changes, and noticing microscopic visual clues that escape traditional diagnostics. But when Rosa passed away from cancer during his senior year of high school, everything collapsed. Without her income, Darius lost their apartment. College scholarships disappeared when he had no permanent address. His dreams of mechanical engineering school evaporated into the harsh reality of survival. He bounced between temporary jobs and quick-fix auto work, sleeping in his car and showering at 24-hour gyms. His lack of formal credentials meant serious shops wouldn't hire him despite his obvious skills. "We need certified technicians," they explained politely, "not talented amateurs." Car detailing became a stable income, even if it wasn't using his real abilities. Steady work, regular paychecks. A chance to be around the vehicles he loved, even if he was only allowed to clean them. Working at Prestige Motors felt like cruel irony, surrounded by the world's most sophisticated vehicles while being treated as invisible furniture. But it also gave him intimate knowledge of exotic car systems that most mechanics never encounter. For 5 years, Darius has been documenting the behavioral patterns of every high-end vehicle that passes through the dealership. His cleaning supplies hide professional diagnostic tools he bought with his own money. An infrared thermometer, digital stethoscope, acoustic analysis equipment that cost him 3 months of salary. His work tablet contains detailed notes about how perfect machines should sound, feel, and respond. He knows more about exotic car diagnostics than most factory technicians, but his insights are dismissed as the detail guy trying to play mechanic. Rosa's words echo in every challenge. "Baby, they can take your job, your money, even your good name. But they can't take what's in your hands and your head. Machinery doesn't lie, and neither should you." Now, standing in Prestige Motors' marble showroom while Jonathan Sterling prepares to humiliate him further, Darius carries Rosa's wisdom like armor. He knows exactly what's wrong with the Ferrari. He knows precisely how to fix it. And he knows that truth, like machinery, doesn't care about the color of the hands that discover it. Sterling thinks he's setting a trap, but traps only work when the prey doesn't see them coming, and Darius Mitchell has been listening to machines speak truth his entire life. $50,000, Sterling announces, his voice cutting through the tension like broken glass. "That's what I'll add to the Ferrari if anyone can actually fix this piece of Italian junk." The crowd stirs. Victoria Carter stops gathering her things. Other clients pause their exodus toward the door. $50,000 plus a $350,000 Ferrari suddenly makes this humiliation worth watching. Sterling feeds off their renewed attention, his confidence growing with their focus. "But when this fails, and it will, I want every bleeding heart in this room to understand that good intentions don't fix complex machines." He steps closer to Darius, close enough that his expensive cologne mingles with the smell of cleaning chemicals. "You know what? Let's make this educational." His voice rises, ensuring everyone hears. "I challenge what's your name again? Darius, to try fixing this Ferrari." The marble showroom goes dead silent. 50 phones appear, recording everything. Victoria Carter's thumb hovers over her live stream button. Someone near the window whispers, "This is insane." When he fails spectacularly, Sterling continues, his racist confidence absolute, Maybe we can all stop pretending that everyone is equally capable of precision engineering. He gestures broadly at his audience. Some people wash cars, others design them. There's a natural order here that polite society refuses to acknowledge. Dr. Maria Santos, professor of mechanical engineering at UCLA and consultant for Ferrari's North American technical team, has been watching from the back of the crowd. She came as Victoria Carter's technical advisor, evaluating whether Prestige Motors possesses the mechanical competence to service Carter's $200 million collection. What she's witnessed disgusts her professionally and personally. Jonathan Sterling. Her voice cuts through the room like a surgical blade. You're about to make the biggest mistake of your professional life. All heads turn. Sterling's smirk falters as he recognizes UCLA's most respected automotive engineering professor. Dr. Santos's reputation in the luxury car world is legendary. Her technical opinions can make or break dealerships, validate or destroy mechanical claims. Dr. Santos, Sterling recovers quickly, his voice artificially warm. How wonderful to see you here. I trust you're enjoying our little demonstration of realistic expectations. I've been observing this young man for the past 30 minutes, Dr. Santos says, walking toward Darius with purposeful steps. While you've been running your mouth, he's been conducting diagnostic procedures that most mechanics have never seen. Sterling's confidence cracks slightly. I'm sure he's very thorough with his cleaning responsibilities. Mr. Mitchell has been using advanced acoustic analysis and thermal assessment techniques, Dr. Santos continues, her voice carrying the authority of 2 decades in automotive engineering. Those methods require graduate-level understanding of mechanical engineering principles. The crowd murmurs. Several clients pull out phones to Google Dr. Santos's credentials. Victoria Carter steps closer, her business instincts recognizing a pivotal moment. You see, Dr. Santos addresses the audience. I've spent 20 years teaching automotive diagnostics at UCLA. I've consulted for Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren. I know expertise when I see it, regardless of what someone is wearing. Sterling feels control slipping away. With all respect, Dr. Santos, enthusiasm doesn't equal competence. This is a $350,000 precision machine that has stumped 5 certified specialists. Exactly my point, Dr. Santos replies coldly. 5 specialists who relied on computers instead of observation, who trusted equipment over intuition, who assumed their degrees made them smarter than the machines they were trying to understand. She turns to Darius, who has remained perfectly still throughout the confrontation. Mr. Mitchell, I noticed you examining the exhaust heat patterns earlier. What did you observe? Darius speaks for the first time, his voice quiet but clear. Temperature differential of 23 degrees across the manifold outlets indicates harmonic resonance in the intake system, probably from a loose mounting bracket. Dr. Santos nods approvingly. Thermal diagnostic mapping. And the acoustic analysis? 847 Hz primary frequency with a 1240 secondary harmonic. Classic aluminum component vibration under specific load conditions. The crowd stares in stunned silence. These aren't the words of someone who washes cars for a living. This is a technical language that most of them don't understand. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Santos announces, you're listening to the diagnostic methodology that I teach to graduate students. Mr. Mitchell just described the exact problem that 5 expensive specialists couldn't identify. Sterling's face flushes red. His trap has become his nightmare. Anyone can throw around technical terms, Doctor. Let's see if he can actually do something useful. Gladly, Dr. Santos replies. But first, let me make the stakes clear for everyone here. She addresses the crowd directly. If Mr. Mitchell fixes this Ferrari using the diagnostic methods I just heard him describe, it will prove that mechanical genius exists independently of formal credentials or racial assumptions. Victoria Carter steps forward, her phone now recording. I'll double the stakes. If this young man fixes Jonathan's Ferrari, I'll offer him the head diagnostic position for my collection at $200,000 annually. The crowd gasps. Several clients start their own recordings. The showroom buzzes with whispered conversations and clicking cameras. Sterling realizes he's trapped by his own arrogance and the weight of witnesses, 50 VIP clients watching, UCLA's most respected automotive professor backing Darius, Victoria Carter offering life-changing money, and live streams broadcasting to automotive communities worldwide. Fine, he manages, his voice tight with barely controlled panic. Let's see what happens when theory meets reality. Darius approaches the Ferrari 488 GTB. Unlike previous mechanics who immediately connected diagnostic computers, he begins with systematic sensory evaluation. His hands move with practiced precision, feeling components, listening to subtle sounds, observing details that others miss. The crowd forms a circle around him. Phones capture every movement. Dr. Santos positions herself where she can observe his methodology and explain it to the fascinated audience. What you're watching, she tells the crowd, is mechanical diagnostic artistry that most technicians never master. Pay attention. You're about to witness something extraordinary. Sterling stands at the edge of the circle, watching his world crumble as the man he tried to humiliate prepares to demonstrate why assumptions are the most expensive mistakes people can make. Darius doesn't rush to start the engine. Instead, he spends the first 10 minutes conducting what Dr. Santos quietly explains to the mesmerized crowd as systematic sensory diagnostics, a methodology that combines acoustic analysis, thermal mapping, and tactile assessment. With his ear pressed to different sections of the engine bay, Darius listens to the subtle sounds of cooling metal, settling fluids, and mechanical components in their resting state. His movements are methodical, almost reverent, as he maps the Ferrari's condition through pure observation. There's something most people don't understand about machines, he says softly, his hands never stopping their careful examination. They're always talking. Even when they're off, they're telling you stories about stress, wear, temperature history, and component relationships. Sterling watches nervously as several clients nod, genuinely interested in this unexpected education. This isn't going according to his script. The crowd that came to witness his dominance is now learning from the man he tried to humiliate. First revelation. The acoustic detective Darius produces a professional stethoscope from his toolkit. Not standard cleaning equipment, but precision diagnostic gear that clearly costs serious money. The crowd leans forward as he systematically checks different engine components, his face completely focused on sounds they can't hear. Every engine component has a unique acoustic signature when healthy, he explains while working. Deviation from optimal frequencies creates harmonic interference patterns that tell specific stories about mechanical conditions. He presses the stethoscope to various locations, listening with the intensity of a cardiac surgeon. His face changes when he reaches a specific spot near the intake manifold. Here, he announces, his voice carrying quiet confidence. 847 Hz primary resonance with a 1240 harmonic overlay. That's the signature of aluminum component vibration under thermal stress. Dr. Santos pulls out her phone and opens a professional acoustic analysis app used by UCLA's engineering department. Mr. Mitchell, would you mind if I verify your frequency identification? Please do, Darius replies, completely comfortable with professional scrutiny. Dr. Santos holds her phone's microphone near the same location while Darius taps the suspected component with a small metal tool from his personal diagnostic kit. The app displays a detailed frequency graph that matches exactly what Darius described. 847.3 Hz primary, Dr. Santos reads from her screen, her voice filled with professional admiration. 1239.8 secondary harmonic. Mr. Mitchell's acoustic analysis is precise to within 0.3 Hz. The crowd murmurs in amazement. Several people start recording Dr. Santos's screen showing the frequency data that validates Darius's extraordinary abilities. This level of acoustic diagnostic accuracy, Dr. Santos continues, addressing the fascinated audience, typically requires years of specialized training and natural aptitude that simply cannot be taught in traditional programs. Most certified mechanics never develop this skill. Victoria Carter steps closer, her business instincts recognizing exceptional talent. Dr. Santos, are you saying this level of precision is unusual even among professionals? It's extraordinary even among specialists, Dr. Santos confirms. I've worked with Ferrari's factory engineers who don't possess this degree of acoustic sensitivity. Darius explains his findings to the crowd in accessible terms. Every healthy engine component vibrates at its optimal frequency when properly mounted and functioning correctly. When something comes loose or develops stress fractures, it creates harmonic interference, like a guitar string that's slightly out of tune, affecting the entire instrument's sound. He points to a small aluminum bracket near the intake manifold, barely visible among the engine's complexity. This mounting bracket has developed microfractures that allow it to vibrate against the manifold under specific thermal and load conditions. The 847 Hz frequency tells us the exact size and material density of the component. The secondary harmonic confirms it's aluminum, not steel, and indicates the specific type of mounting failure. Sterling's confidence begins to crack as he realizes this isn't lucky guessing. This is systematic analysis based on principles that the 5 previous mechanics didn't understand or apply. Second revelation. The thermal detective Darius produces an infrared thermometer from his toolkit and begins mapping the engine bay's heat distribution with surgical precision. Red laser dots dance across various components as he builds a thermal profile invisible to the naked eye, but critical for understanding mechanical relationships. Standard diagnostics check sensor readings and computer data, he explains while working methodically across the engine bay. But they miss thermal signatures that reveal mechanical stress patterns and component interactions. Heat doesn't lie about the true condition of mechanical relationships. His systematic approach reveals temperature variations that tell a complex story previous mechanics couldn't read. Each measurement is deliberate, building a comprehensive thermal map that exposes hidden problems. This spot is 23 degrees hotter than baseline operating temperature, he says, marking an area directly adjacent to the suspect bracket. Metal-on-metal contact where there shouldn't be any physical interaction. This area is 18 degrees cooler than specification, he continues, moving the thermometer to a nearby heat sink component. Insufficient thermal transfer indicating a loose mounting point that's preventing proper heat dissipation. Dr. Santos confirms each reading with her own professional infrared thermometer, projecting the results onto her tablet screen for the crowd to see the precise thermal variations Darius identified. Thermal diagnostic mapping, Dr. Santos explains to the increasingly fascinated audience, requires deep understanding of heat transfer coefficients, material thermal properties, and mechanical stress relationships. This represents graduate-level thermodynamics and materials science applied in real-time diagnostic scenarios. But here's the critical insight that 5 certified specialists missed, Darius continues, his confidence growing as his systematic analysis proves accurate with each measurement. These thermal patterns only manifest when the engine reaches specific operating temperatures combined with particular RPM ranges and load conditions. The loose bracket creates vibration that triggers cascade failures in 3 separate interconnected systems. He methodically shows the crowd how the faulty bracket's vibration affects multiple engine systems simultaneously. The mounting bracket vibration compromises intake manifold seal integrity, which confuses oxygen sensors with false readings about air-fuel mixture ratios. This creates irregular combustion patterns that the engine management computer system attempts to compensate for, but can't fully correct because the root cause remains active. The computer diagnostics showed normal readings because technicians tested individual components in isolation during static conditions. But this problem only manifests when multiple systems interact dynamically under specific thermal and mechanical stress combinations that occur during actual driving. Victoria Carter steps closer, genuinely impressed by the systematic nature of Darius's analysis. So the previous mechanics weren't necessarily incompetent? They just weren't looking at the right systemic relationships? Exactly correct, Darius replies, his respectful tone acknowledging their legitimate efforts. They treated symptoms instead of identifying the root cause. Each repair attempt addressed completely valid concerns based on the diagnostic data they were observing, but that data was systematically corrupted by the original mechanical failure that remained undetected. Third revelation, the systematic master. With the problem comprehensively identified and explained in detail, Darius demonstrates why the previous repair attempts failed and reveals the precise technical methodology required for permanent resolution. The bracket failure pattern isn't random mechanical wear, he explains, showing the crowd the small aluminum component that's indirectly caused $8,000 in misdirected repair attempts. These brackets fail because thermal expansion creates highly specific stress concentration points during certain predictable driving pattern combinations. Using a jeweler's loupe from his personal diagnostic equipment, he shows the crowd hairline stress fractures completely invisible to casual visual inspection. Microfractures develop gradually over thousands of operating miles through cyclical thermal and mechanical stress. The component doesn't fail catastrophically. It becomes just loose enough to vibrate at specific harmonic frequencies under particular operating conditions. Dr. Santos examines the bracket under magnification using her own equipment and confirms the stress patterns Darius identified. Mr. Mitchell's analysis is absolutely correct. These fracture patterns indicate cyclical thermal stress occurring exactly where advanced engineering stress analysis models predict maximum load concentration points. But here's the critical technical insight that explains why 5 different mechanics couldn't achieve permanent repair. Darius continues, his explanation building toward the systematic solution. The replacement bracket installation requires highly specific thermal and mechanical conditions that standard repair procedures don't address. He explains the precise repair sequence to the captivated audience with the clarity of an experienced instructor. Previous mechanics either over-torqued the replacement bracket mounting bolts, causing immediate stress fracture recurrence, or under-torqued them, allowing continued vibration that perpetuated the original problem. The replacement bracket must be installed while the engine operates at exactly 73 degrees Celsius, not 72, not 74, he continues with scientific precision. Too hot, and thermal expansion creates internal stress during the cooling cycle. Too cold, and the mounting point dimensional alignment doesn't match the bracket's optimal installation geometry. Additionally, the bolt torque sequence follows specific engineering principles that most mechanics don't apply to small components, he explains while demonstrating the correct technique. These 4 mounting bolts must be tightened in a precise diagonal pattern to distribute mechanical stress evenly across the bracket's mounting surface and prevent localized stress concentration. Using the scientifically correct technique, Darius installs the replacement bracket with methodical precision that contrasts sharply with typical hurried repair approaches. He monitors engine temperature continuously with his infrared thermometer, waits patiently for the exact thermal conditions, and applies torque specifications that previous mechanics either ignored or misapplied. 22 foot-pounds applied in diagonal sequence, he narrates while working, his systematic approach clearly visible to the watching crowd. First, all bolts tightened to 15 foot-pounds to ensure even initial contact. Then final tightening to full specification in the same diagonal pattern. This ensures optimal stress distribution and prevents the microfracture initiation that caused the original component failure. The crowd watches in complete fascination as technical mastery unfolds systematically before their eyes. This isn't just mechanical repair, it's precision engineering artistry informed by deep understanding of material science, thermal dynamics, and systematic diagnostic methodology. When Darius finishes the installation using proper technique, he starts the engine and systematically recreates every driving condition that previously triggered stalling episodes. Specific RPM ranges, precise throttle position combinations, load duration sequences that had caused intermittent failures for 3 weeks. The Ferrari responds flawlessly to every test sequence that previously caused problems. The acoustic signature has fundamentally changed. The harmful harmonics have completely disappeared, replaced by the smooth mechanical symphony that Ferrari's engineers originally intended. Dr. Santos records the engine's new acoustic profile and compares it directly to factory specification recordings. "Perfect harmonic alignment achieved," she announces to the amazed crowd. "This Ferrari now performs exactly as designed by Ferrari's engineering team." Sterling stands frozen at the edge of the circle, watching his racist assumptions systematically crumble as brilliant technical analysis demolishes every excuse he's ever made about talent, intelligence, and the supposed relationship between formal credentials and actual competence. "Ladies and gentlemen," Dr. Santos addresses the crowd with obvious professional excitement, "you've just witnessed diagnostic methodology that will become required study material in automotive engineering programs nationwide. This isn't just fixing a car. This represents a significant advancement in the science of systematic mechanical diagnostics. The impossible has become routine. The man Sterling tried to humiliate has demonstrated technical mastery that exceeds anything the luxury automotive world has previously witnessed, and everyone captured the entire process on video. Sterling's face has gone pale as he watches the Ferrari purr with mechanical perfection. 3 weeks of humiliation, $8,000 in failed repairs, and his crumbling reputation, all solved in 90 minutes by the man he publicly mocked. But desperation makes people dangerous. Sterling isn't ready to surrender. "Fine," he announces, his voice tight with barely controlled panic. "So maybe you got lucky with some basic mechanical work. But this is a $350,000 precision machine designed for performance, not parking lot demonstrations." Dr. Santos raises an eyebrow at Sterling's refusal to acknowledge obvious excellence. The crowd murmurs, sensing Sterling's desperation. "Let's see how your little repair holds up under real driving conditions," Sterling continues, his racism now masked as concern for automotive integrity. "If this car stalls even once during aggressive testing, in traffic on hills during hard acceleration, the deal is completely off." He steps closer to Darius, invading his personal space one final time. "Because anyone can make something work temporarily. Precision engineering requires different capabilities than simple fixes." Victoria Carter's phone is live streaming to her social media followers. The viewer count has climbed past 12,000 as word spreads through automotive communities worldwide. Comments flood in from mechanics and engineers watching the confrontation unfold in real time. "I'll drive with you," Sterling declares, making the challenge personal. 45 minutes of the most demanding conditions Beverly Hills can offer. When this car fails, and it will, everyone here will understand why certain jobs require certain qualifications. Darius meets Sterling's gaze without flinching. "I accept your test." The crowd follows them outside as Darius slides behind the Ferrari's steering wheel. Sterling reluctantly takes the passenger seat, his expensive suit a stark contrast to Darius's work clothes. Dr. Santos follows in her vehicle with several clients, the procession becoming a mobile verification team. Victoria Carter's live stream provides commentary as they begin the most comprehensive automotive stress test Beverly Hills has ever witnessed. 12,000 viewers and climbing, she reports. "This is unprecedented." For 45 minutes, Darius subjects the Ferrari to punishing conditions that would break most cars. Stop-and-go traffic in 95-degree heat with the air conditioning running maximum. The engine temperature climbs but remains stable. Aggressive acceleration from red lights on Wilshire Boulevard. The Ferrari launches forward with smooth power, no hesitation, no stuttering. Sterling grips his door handle as Darius demonstrates the car's capabilities with surgical precision. Extended idling at valet stands outside luxury hotels. The engine maintains perfect rhythm, no irregularities in the acoustic signature that Dr. Santos monitors through her equipment in the following vehicle. High RPM freeway merging onto the 405 during rush hour traffic. The Ferrari seamlessly integrates with flowing traffic, its engine note clear and strong under full acceleration load. Steep hill climbs through the winding roads of Mulholland Drive. The car maintains power and stability through elevation changes that stress cooling systems and fuel delivery mechanisms. Every specific condition that previously triggered stalling episodes, every combination of temperature, load, and duration that had stumped 5 certified mechanics. The Ferrari responds flawlessly to every demand Darius places on it. Sterling grows quieter with each successful test. His confident predictions of failure transform into uncomfortable silence as the car performs better than when it was new. "How is this possible?" he finally whispers, more to himself than to Darius. "Because I listened to what the car was telling me instead of assuming I knew better than the machine," Darius replies simply. Back at Prestige Motors, the crowd has grown. Word spread through Beverly Hills about the extraordinary demonstration happening at the luxury dealership. Local mechanics have gathered outside, drawn by social media posts about an impossible automotive repair being broadcast live. Dr. Santos connects her professional diagnostic equipment to verify the Ferrari's performance parameters. The results appear on her tablet screen for the crowd to witness. "Horsepower output, 8% above factory specifications," she announces, her voice filled with professional amazement. Torque delivery, smoother and more consistent than original engineering parameters. Emissions, 12% cleaner than EPA requirements for this vehicle class. Vibration levels, reduced to tolerances that typically require $50,000 in additional engineering refinement. She continues, reading data that shouldn't be possible from a simple bracket replacement. This car now performs better than when Ferrari's factory engineers originally built it. The crowd erupts in amazed murmurs. Phones capture every word of Dr. Santos's verification. The live stream viewer count has reached 28,000 as automotive communities worldwide watch history being made. In 25 years of automotive engineering, education, and consulting, Dr. Santos addresses the crowd, I have witnessed this level of intuitive mechanical mastery exactly twice, both times from individuals who were systematically underestimated by colleagues who couldn't recognize genius when it contradicted their assumptions. Sterling realizes his racist humiliation has been broadcast to automotive communities worldwide. His assumptions have been systematically demolished by technical excellence that he can't dispute, dismiss, or diminish. Victoria Carter steps forward, her phone still recording. Ladies and gentlemen, you've just witnessed something unprecedented in the luxury automotive world. Mr. Mitchell hasn't just fixed an impossible problem, he's optimized a machine beyond its original design parameters. The silence that follows is broken only by the Ferrari's perfect idle, a mechanical purr that represents the complete destruction of Jonathan Sterling's worldview and the emergence of a truth he never wanted to acknowledge. Excellence doesn't announce itself with credentials or conform to racist expectations. It simply performs, transforms impossible into routine, and proves that genius recognizes no boundaries except those imposed by prejudice. And everyone captured it on video. Sterling stands frozen beside his perfectly running Ferrari, surrounded by 50 witnesses and 28,000 live stream viewers. His racist trap has become his public execution. The car is yours, he manages, his voice barely audible as he hands over the keys with trembling fingers. The Ferrari title follows, along with the promised $50,000 check he writes with a shaking hand. Dr. Santos steps forward. Mr. Sterling, you also promised a public apology. Sterling's face flushes red. I apologize for underestimating Mr. Mitchell's abilities, he whispers, each word costing him dignity he'll never recover. Before Darius can process owning a Ferrari, opportunities explode around him. Victoria Carter approaches first. Mr. Mitchell, I'm offering you $750 per hour as my collection's exclusive diagnostic consultant. Dr. Santos follows immediately. UCLA wants to partner with you on research documenting your methodology for automotive journals worldwide. A man in an expensive suit pushes forward. Beverly Hills Ferrari dealership, head of diagnostics at $150,000 annually. Racing team contractor, another voice calls, $3,000 per day for weekend consultation. The numbers stagger everyone watching. In 4 hours, Darius has transformed from a $15 per hour detail worker to the most sought-after diagnostic specialist on the West Coast, with over $400,000 in immediate opportunities. Diagnostic genius trends across social media as mechanics worldwide discuss his methods. Automotive Engineering Monthly wants an exclusive interview, a woman with a tablet announces. Private Collector Network offering a $200,000 annual retainer, adds another client. Sterling watches helplessly as his former employee becomes the center of attention at his own dealership. Clients who previously ignored Darius now compete for his time. Dr. Santos addresses the crowd. What you've witnessed proves that exceptional talent exists independently of credentials. Mr. Mitchell represents the future of automotive diagnostics. As the crowd disperses, Darius stands beside his Ferrari, holding keys to a life he never imagined possible. Sterling remains at the edge of his own showroom, invisible and irrelevant, watching justice serve itself. Within hours of the live stream ending, Jonathan Sterling faces consequences that cascade like falling dominoes, each more devastating than the last. The viral video reaches 2.3 million views across platforms with titles like Racist CEO Destroyed by Genius He Mocked and Ferrari Problem Solved After 5 Experts Failed. Sterling's racist comments become permanent internet infamy, searchable forever. Victoria Carter doesn't just cancel her $2.3 million Lamborghini order. She contacts every luxury car collector in her network. Avoid Prestige Motors, she warns them. Sterling's racism and incompetence make him unfit for our business. By Tuesday morning, $8.7 million in orders and consignments are canceled. Wealthy clients who witnessed Sterling's behavior spread word through Beverly Hills' tight-knit luxury community. The message is clear. Racism has consequences. The employment avalanche begins immediately. Current and former employees flood attorneys with discrimination complaints after seeing the viral video. 7 lawsuits are filed within 72 hours, citing systematic racism and hostile work environment. Legal exposure exceeds $5 million. The industry acts swiftly. The Luxury Auto Dealers Association expels Sterling after member complaints about bringing disgrace to professional automotive retail. Ferrari North America terminates his franchise agreement, citing conduct incompatible with brand values. He loses access to new inventory and manufacturer support. His bank calls the operating loans due immediately after assessing the viral video as catastrophic reputational risk affecting business viability. Business insurance cancels coverage, citing exclusions for discrimination-related damages. Without financing or insurance, Prestige Motors faces immediate closure. The personal destruction follows quickly. Sterling's Country Club revokes his membership after minority members threaten mass resignation. His wife files for divorce, citing public humiliation and moral bankruptcy that has destroyed our social standing. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission launches a federal investigation into systematic discriminatory practices at Prestige Motors. Sterling faces potential civil rights violations with criminal penalties. 6 months later, Sterling works at a discount used car lot in Bakersfield, earning $40,000 annually, less than Darius's old salary. His Google search results permanently feature the Ferrari humiliation video. The poetic justice comes full circle when Sterling's personal BMW develops electrical problems. The only mechanic capable of diagnosing the complex issue is Darius's new automotive center. Sterling pays $1,200 for a repair Darius solves in 30 minutes, more than Darius used to earn in a month. Prestige Motors is sold to new owners who immediately hire Darius as chief diagnostic officer at $180,000 annually. The dealership became known worldwide for solving impossible automotive mysteries. The discrimination lawsuits result in $3.8 million in settlements. Sterling declares both personal and business bankruptcy. His case becomes required study in employment law schools as an example of racism's devastating financial consequences. The cultural impact spreads throughout the automotive industry. Multiple dealerships implement bias training and inclusive hiring practices to avoid becoming the next Sterling. The Ferrari incident became a watershed moment for recognizing talent regardless of background. Sterling's destruction serves as permanent proof that in the modern world, racist behavior carries consequences that extend far beyond the moment of humiliation. Social media ensures accountability, and excellence always finds its voice. 2 years later, Darius drives his Ferrari to Beverly Hills Automotive Diagnostics Center every morning. His facility has solved over 800 impossible mechanical mysteries using thermal acoustic methodology, now taught worldwide. Rosa's words proved prophetic. The machine will tell you what's wrong if you know how to listen. In a digital world, the most sophisticated solutions still require patience, observation, and respect for mechanical truth. The Ferrari incident sparked #recognized genius, a movement encouraging talent recognition beyond assumptions. Sterling's destruction reminds everyone that racist behavior destroys those who practice it more than those who endure it. Excellence speaks its own language and eventually becomes impossible to ignore. If this story reminded you that talent comes in unexpected packages, share it with someone who needs to believe in their potential. Sharp-eyed viewers will notice at minute 4, Darius uses his left hand for acoustic analysis, revealing ambidextrous abilities enhancing his diagnostics. Would you have accepted Sterling's challenge with the world watching? Comment below and subscribe for more stories about ordinary people doing extraordinary things.